What's up, guys? Merry Christmas to everybody. And in this video, it's a replay of a Q&A we did in the Leadbase Free Skool. You're definitely going to want to check this out because we had some really great questions asked. So if you're a beginner going into lead generation or somebody who's trying to generate leads for your own business and you don't know where to start, there's actually some really great stuff here, and we kind of drill down on some good questions. So I'll let you guys watch the Q&A video. And if you have further questions that you want me to bring up at additional Q&As in the future, feel free to comment below because we're taking suggestions for YouTube videos on this channel. I need some ideas, guys. I want to know what you want to learn going into 2026, and we're going to be doing some big free trainings in the Leadbase Free Skool in 2026. So you're going to want to be there for those. And as always, you can also join Leadbase Pro for just $99 a month. Get access to our full suite of trainings, multiple weekly calls where I spend time with you in a one-on-one group setting, but we actually go over your stuff one-on-one during that time. And so you can join Leadbase Pro below, and I'll let you guys watch the video, and would love to see you on Leadbase. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas again. Johnny, fire away. We're just opening up the floor here.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So the first question that I had was, because I recently just saw my first client. He's made some comments about contact rate not being the best. I'm already SMS verifying the leads. So I was just sort of wondering, like, I don't want to perhaps go down the whole SMS route after they submit their, I guess, like the information.
Yeah.
Is there any other, I don't know, I guess, like ways that you think we can improve contact rates or?
You said you don't want to go down the SMS verification route?
No, I'm already SMS verifying them. It's just more so once they provide the information. Because I've seen people say that you can also send them like an SMS confirmation after they've submitted their inquiry.
Right.
I'm hoping to halfway avoid that, just so I don't have to do the whole setup and pay for go high level and all that stuff. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's like that huge of a deal, to be honest, especially if you have a client that's like properly chasing the leads. Because and sorry, did you say the clients has issues with quality or contact rate or something? I just missed. I don't know if I heard the start of that or not.
Yeah. So I've given him so he ordered 10 leads. I've given him about 5 so far. Out of the 5, he's closed 1. The other 4 he's found it hard to get in contact with.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that's like a super small sample size. And actually, if that pans out, if he's closed 1 of 5, that's going to be really good. If that, continued that way, which it probably will get, you probably have lower numbers, if anything, because 20% is a really good close. By the way, guys, if you just showed up, you can just put in the chat if you have a question. I know, Anna, I just saw you raise your hand, so you can go next, but you can just put, hi or whatever, a letter in the chat. Yeah, in this case, so I mean, like I said, it's a super small sample size to start. I honestly wouldn't probably change much right now. Like if you've got text verification, and you've got, he's only taken 5 leads so far. I think you just need like more like 20 leads to start to like get more of like a proper sample size there. If you're already doing text verification, and the leads, the buyer is calling these leads like pretty, hopefully right away when they come in, like instantly. And saying, hey, I got your information from Johnny, your brand, from Johnny's brand. I'm the recommended partner,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So yeah, I think it's pretty early on there for sure.
Okay, if you don't mind me just asking one more on the back of that. So because the other thing I've realized is, how do I provide him the leads during business hours, right? Like during that 9 to 5 period. Because right now, like, I'm running the ads 24/7, and there'll be some leads coming in overnight,
Right.
and then I provide it to them. Well, I'll provide it to them during business hours. Like, I'll send them during business hours,
Right.
but the leads didn't actually come in during business hours, if that makes sense.
Right. There's not really an easy way to do that without, unless you have like something like Lead Prosper. You could set up a rule inside Facebook to only run your campaigns for business hour times.
Where you go?
Pardon me?
Is that what you guys do right now? Like, is that what you guys seem working?
Yeah, most of our clients are able to take them like 24/7, but you can basically set up a rule. Like if they're only willing to take leads from 9 to 5, then you can set up a rule that you turn your campaign on at 9 and turn it off at 5. It's not like ideal, because it can like potentially mess with the campaign a little bit. But it's an option if if they're really sticky about that.
Okay, so I'm just sort of thinking if that's affecting the contact rate right now, just given they're providing it overnight and then they're being contacted next morning.
Right.
But like you said, yeah, it's early days, so I guess so I can maybe just kind of wait it out. But is there any other thoughts you guys have on on these sort of things that might help?
I mean, we can look at your. Are you using lead forms or a landing page?
Laney, like I'm using Unbounce.
Okay. I mean, we could take look at your quiz if you want to share that, or, um, I mean, like I said, if he's closed 1 in 5 already, that's actually really good. So, but we can take a look at the specifics of the quiz. I will say yes, if you're sending leads overnight and they're calling them in the morning, for sure, there's going to be potential for some, um, yeah, that could hurt your contact rate. Your client really should be calling these leads like 10 plus times to try and get a hold of them too, though. So that's on them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Thanks, Ryan.
Did you want to take a look at your funnel? Are you good?
Should be okay for now, but I've got other questions. So I might sort of linger around, and I'll
Okay.
let other people go. Thanks.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, not a crazy amount of people here today, so I'm sure we'll have some time.
Yeah.
Guys, like I said, if you just showed up, you can just put a letter in the chat or type your question, and we'll go by priority. I'm actually going to go to so yeah, Paul, because I think you can see. Oh, no, hands go away. So yeah, just put in the chat if you don't mind. Ono is actually next because he put his hand up. Oh, it looks like he
Yep.
figured out a way to keep his hand up. Does anyone know how to do that?
I don't think there is a way.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think there is a way either,
Okay, no
but it
worries.
sticks around for some time.
Yeah, I'll go
So,
Ono then Archie. Go ahead.
my problem right now is that we're generating leads for credit repair, but my
Yeah.
clients specialize on a specific credits where buyers need to have their own property and they need to live in their own property. So they're not allowed to live on rent.
Right.
So I have that in my funnel. I have a question: do you live in your own? I mean, it's in German, but do you
Yeah.
live in your own? So you don't pay rent, essentially.
Yeah.
And still, we have a lot of people that are just lying and
Yeah.
that don't own a property. And since it's credit repair, they're just grabbing everything that is available or lying just to get in a conversation. And we have people that are filling out the forms again and again and again after being rejected because these people are just desperate for any type of credit or any type of conversation about credits. So
Right.
duplicates I figured out with Lead Prosper to just not send them to our buyers, which is fine now. But we're having the problem that people are just lying about owning real estate when they're not.
Right. So you're asking them, yeah, yes or no, if they're renters and they're just lying. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard because I mean, there's people are just gonna do that sometimes. That does tell me though that maybe that person is like desperate for help. And is there another client that could help them? Like, is there someone else that you
No.
could tell that lead to?
If they don't own real estate, then they're out.
Just for credit
It's
repair
for
though?
It's for a specific so it's credit repair that so these are clients that have multiple credits running or multiple loans running. And what my buyers are doing is they put all of their debt onto their property or onto the
Mhm.
property they own, and then the bank approves them for a new loan. And
Oh,
that's
okay.
basically the only way for them to get approved for a new loan. Otherwise, they would never ever get a new loan, and it's very profitable for banks to do that because these loans have like 15% interest rate.
Right. So it's sort of like debt consolidation to some extent.
Yeah,
Like you're combining those. Yeah, I mean that
yeah,
makes sense. I think you could still find, maybe because when you said credit repair, I think more of like typically in the States, credit repair is different. It's just repairing your credit score. You're really doing more of like a debt consolidation loan situation.
mm,
So I understand that. But what
yeah,
I think you could do here is in your quiz, I guess it's
mm,
hard if they lie because then it's like Yeah, that makes it a bit harder, I guess. But if you ask them, like, I don't know if are there any leading questions in your quiz? Like, hey, you have to own to be able to get this. By the way, do you own? Are you asking anything like that? Or is it pretty straight up? Do you own or rent?
The first question is just, do you own or do you not own? Yes or no. And if they click no, they immediately get to the we cannot help you. Thank you for your submission page.
Okay. Then I bet you people are
There,
clicking no and then just going back through the quiz and then filling it
yeah,
out as their own. So
yeah.
what I think you should do here is on that first question, do you rent or own? And then have the button say own rent. If they click rent, you should let them go through the quiz, but send them to a different thank you page that doesn't fire the pixel. And then I mean, there's going to be somebody who can help that type of person. Like maybe there's other offers, maybe there's other types of credit repair that could help them. I mean, I still think that's going to be a byproduct of your quiz to some extent. It would be worth it to try and find a buyer who could even buy those leads at like a small amount. Because if they're already in the quiz, maybe someone will buy them for $10 or $20 or whatever. Like, is credit repair a thing in Germany?
Not really. Not really. So these are really buyers with like all messed up loans and that are like close to losing their house because they have so much debt. And this specific loan that my buyers are offering is their only way for them to keep their house and not lose their house.
Right. I guess the question is, why would someone who's renting fill that out? Like, what's besides the fact that people just fill out dumb stuff sometimes? I'm just wondering if the person who's a renter is coming through and they're desperate for some reason to get help with their debt, and if there's another offer out there that could help
Yeah,
them. That's what
because
I'm.
my guess is because our ads are specifically speaking to people that got denied a loan from another bank.
Right.
So our target audience is, like I said, are owning their own house. Usually they make a good living or they're employed and they make good money, but they just spend way too much on consumer credits, car loans, etc.
Right.
Or they had a good job, got their own house, and then for some reason they lost their job and now they cannot pay their mortgage.
Right.
That's the target audience.
Okay. And then how many people are coming through that are renters? What percentage?
I don't really know. I think we have like, so for one buyer, if I look in his portal, then we have out of 50, we have 13 people that are not owning their house,
Okay.
which are for him a waste of time, or he
Yeah.
cannot
I
work
think
with them.
I think the best way to at least start by making it so he doesn't get those leads is to change that first question, because right now people are clicking rent, and then you're trying to kick them out, but then they're like, "Oh, I want to get through this. I'm just going to fill it out again." So I think if you let those people that say rent go through the quiz, but then at the end you can just say, um, "Hey, we'll contact you if we find a solution for you. Stay tuned." Then they're not going to go through it and fill it out again. At least you'll get rid of them for now. And then you can still keep those people on a list. Like if it's 13 out of 50, you're not going to fire the Facebook pixel for them. So you're telling Facebook, I don't want these renters. That's going to help Facebook over time. And then eventually maybe you do have a decent amount of them. Sorry, Andrew, I think I'm just going to mute you.
The actual door.
Someone's got some background. I'm just going to mute a bunch of people. Yeah, so change that question.
So you would
Keep
let
track
them through the funnel, but not fire the pixel, and don't route them to any buyer.
For now, yeah, until you find a buyer, but you could just route them to a Google Sheet and store them somewhere, and then maybe you find a buyer who will buy that list one day or something. Ryan, do you think that's the best way to do it? Like, just because if they're just going back through, which maybe isn't fully the case, but chances are just going back through and filling out the quiz if they're getting denied on the first question?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. You could do it either that, or you can just direct them to a new landing page, and then that new landing page for like the non-qualifiers can just have like a simple form on it or something, or even another quiz, just so it doesn't affect your quiz stats or like things like that. It just,
Mm.
but it's kind of like a personal preference on how you want to route it. But yes, I totally agree with Ryan that you definitely want to allow them to get through something, so so they'll stop saying rent or they own.
Mm. Okay, got it. And the second problem that we're having right now is contact rate, which probably is a buyer problem. But I'm a bit confused because they're one of the biggest in Germany. They have a call center with over 200 employees. So I'm pretty confident that they have all of the necessary things in place. They're in business for over 80 years. They're a large operation. They're specialized on specifically this type of loan, and they're complaining about contact rate.
Yeah, I mean, if companies aren't used to working digital leads, like um, there's always a chance that they're not going to be calling leads enough. Like I've even heard through talking with people in Leadbase Pro, it's like one client gets 20%, one client gets 60% contact rate just because they know what they're doing. Andrew asked a good question with their outbound caller ID. Like I think we might have talked about that before, but get them to call you or get them to do like a caller ID check to make sure it's not showing up as spam. Because that can make a huge difference. So yeah, there's like a lot of like best practices, like calling the lead within submit yourself as a lead. I would do that. Like Andrew said. See how many times they actually call you and try and get a hold of you and see if they're actually doing what they say they're.
Okay, but from the funnel perspective, there's not really that much I can do. I mean, we're contacting leads via WhatsApp and via email, and we're even letting them know who the buyer is, giving them contact data of the lead buyer. So I don't see, and we're doing SMS verification for all of the phone numbers. So I'm not really seeing where we could improve.
What's your thank you page look like?
I can paste it. Is it smart to paste it in here? Because if people go on it, we'll mess up our tracking. We have to pixel fire from the thank you page.
It shouldn't attribute it to an ad, but we won't. You don't have to bring it up. I was just wondering if it was like a blank thank you page. I like to put.
No, it says clear next steps for we're going to call you, we're giving you a personal assessment, and the banks our clients work with, a couple of testimonials,
Okay, cool.
FAQs, but
Good.
no video. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
What
you
do
could always.
you what do you have before the quiz? Do you have any like splash page or anything, or just straight to the quiz?
No, we go straight from the ad to the quiz.
So there's going to be a few things you can try to increase intent. Would be a try splash page before, or at least a bit of content before the quiz. Doesn't have to be very intense. It just needs to be like a little something just to help, drive their intent. To like obviously fill the form, but honestly, just also talk to someone about their problem. And with that, like with your niche and with your like angle, that should not be very difficult to kind of twist that emotional knife to get like because this is a very high stress situation for them. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that you can play with around that. So I would lean into that, and then also reiterate that on your thank you page too. So like,
Mm.
yeah, it's great testimonials ever, but really you want to be leaning into benefit and outcome orientation as well. And then
Mm.
also experiment with like, that emotional, twisting of the knife too. Like, you're one step away from, X, Y, and Z. And then also last thing for thank you page is try just like a call now button or a message now button.
Mm.
So that if they do have that spur moment of motivation, because that is also another problem with this type of niche and with this type of lead, is that they have got themselves into this situation potentially by not taking action and by prolonging certain things. So you really have to capitalize on their motivation. So if they filled it out, you want to give them the option to act now while they do have that slight bit of interest and slight bit of motivation. So those are just my two.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, that makes sense. All right.
Thanks, Anna.
Okay.
Good questions.
Thank you.
Harcheet, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. How much ad spend on an ad creative before declaring it a dud? Depends on how you set it up. Harcheet, are you there? Harcheet? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Yeah, so if you're running like one ad per ad set method where you do like split testing that way, I would say it's more about how many clicks your ad's getting. So if your ad has like at the very, very least, like I would say, 20 clicks and your CTR is under 1%, then you can, I wouldn't necessarily declare it a dud, but you can kind of think like, okay, this ad has 0.8% CTR and 20 clicks. And ideally, you'd want more like 30 or 40 clicks probably, but, and you have another ad that's like 5% click through rate. It's like, okay, well, my best ad's at 5 and this ad's at 0.8 or 0.5. I can probably deduce that this ad's not going to perform super well if the click through rate's terrible. So that's something to consider when running your initial tests is, so look at the click through rate and just think like, okay, depending on how much you're willing to spend and able to spend. If you're not able to spend much at all, maybe you have to make an assumption based off like 10 clicks or something like that. But ideally, I'm waiting for like 30, 40, 50 clicks before I'm like, okay, what's the CTR? What are we cutting? What are we going with? Hopefully that answers the question. Andrew, you said what's the first SMS to send Facebook form? What do you mean by that?
So, like, when they fill out a form, right? Like, what's the first text message that you would send out?
I mean, our first message is really, thanks for filling out the assessment or thanks for seeing if you qualify or whatever they're filling it out for. And then saying, usually it's matching them with the partner that they've been matched with. So if we're selling to client A, we'd be like, because, from the information you provide, it looks like client A is going to be a perfect match for you. They've helped hundreds of people in your situation. Here's their reviews. I mean, I guess you wouldn't say that necessarily in the first text, but we would just make the handoff so that they expect a call from that client. That's really the
Okay.
first thing I would be sending out, just to make sure that the handoff is good so that the client doesn't call them and they're like, who are you?
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, and then the next thing, how's tax going, by the way?
we're not doing a ton of tax anymore. It never was like a huge niche for us. I feel like if we pressed into it harder, we probably could have made something happen. But are you still doing tax ads, tax relief?
I am. I just onboarded a brand new client, and I'm like, oh, let me ask
Oh, nice.
Ryan what like he's doing, so we compare and share notes. So I mean, I took over a fire dump server campaign with like $50 CPLs on Facebook lead forms. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, this is not that hard to optimize, guys. But I was like, oh, I'll just ask Ryan what's going on with them.
Right. Are you doing that like a retainer, or is that pay per
I
lead?
am.
Nice.
I'm doing it on retainer for now. I was gonna pivot over to I've done usually a retainer for the first 2 months just to make sure they have the budget and they're a decent enough client, and then I just pivot it into the performance pay per lead model.
Nice.
That way, it's like, hey, like I'm super serious, you're serious. Let's just go pay per lead, and we could see what could happen.
Nice.
So that's how I positioned it with them.
Nice. Right on, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Are you able to generate like decent intent in terms of leads in that space?
I do, but I also have like tons of data from like I used to work at the like third biggest tax shop, so I have like actual data from like direct mail and TV calls and stuff. So I have a
Right. Helpful.
edge in that space that Audience Labs is kind of working out, ironically enough.
Right.
So intent data stuff like that has helped. But I know I'm not the most awesome media buyer, so I figured I would exchange with the guy who kicks ass every day.
Right. Nice. All right, on.
Yeah.
Sweet. Any other thoughts or questions about?
Is there any verticals that you've seen that you haven't jumped into or gotten into, but seem like a good opportunity? Like example, I know you used to be in timeshare, you sold. Is that too played out now, or like is there still some opportunity, or is there anything that you've seen that's like, oh hey, that's a super cool industry, but I don't have the time in the day to like start something else again?
Yeah, definitely is as dance is the golden question.
Yeah.
I personally got a timeshare because like a lot of the companies are getting sued by the resorts, so I don't think it's. I mean, I think it's pretty played out.
That's
It
fair.
just
That's
seems
fair.
sketchy in that niche. In terms of like the timeshare exit stuff.
Okay.
Um, in terms of like opportunity, yeah, I mean it is the golden question. I think anything. I like the financial space for the most part. I think the biggest
Right.
opportunity really is like, you're doing tax relief and let's say you start doing it under your own brand and you build up a database and then you're able to resell those leads other offers. I think that's where you
Yeah.
start to crush it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you do
I
tax
think.
relief, sell them once their taxes are dealt with, help them repair their credit, and then you get them a mortgage and then get them XYZ.
Yeah. I do have one I came across recently. There's these guys who could get people out of like solar contracts. So it's like timeshare exits, but for solar.
Okay.
And I was
That's
kind of
interesting.
like, it is interesting enough because I know there's a lot of people who got solar panels who just hate it or like
Mhm.
got a
Hmm.
bad deal out of it. And
Right.
like these guys are doing the timeshare exit model for that. And I was like, it seems cool, but I just wanted to bounce it off someone who's done more solar marketing than me. That if you see it being viable or just a fantasy.
Yeah, I mean I really like the sound of that. I like when someone has something that like if they really don't want it, then there's probably an offer there that's like I'm sure some of these legal teams out there. Sorry, I got distracted by a phone call. Yeah, are doing it maybe based on performance. So it's like, do you have a $20,000 solo contract? Like, only pay us if you get out. So I think
Yeah.
the offer there could be really good.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of that niche for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Cool. Well, thanks for your time as always.
Yeah, thanks, man. Good to see you. No, Andrew's an OG in Leadbase Free. Paul, did you have? I think you put a question above. And by the way, if you guys just showed up, you can just put anything in the chat, and I'm trying to go by the chat priority here. It's actually not as easy on School as it is on Google. But anyways, Paul, you go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, I just finished my first funnel to run a vertical for acquiring merchant accounts. It's an industry that I've been in and out of for 25 years.
Okay.
I've been an affiliate marketer on and off for 25 years as well, product developer. As we know, like affiliate sales, the last couple of years that all kind of went to shit, that model. And so I'm coming back. I'm like, I'm going to get back into the marketing field. So mainly, I'm going to be driving leads for my own, for my own business. But
Right.
I'm like, since I'm going to be running traffic and I've got the ability to build out more funnels for different verticals. My question is where do I go? How do I go about finding the people that are looking to buy those leads? Where is there a hub? Or are there different hubs where you find buyers? I mean, where, it's been a long time since I've been involved in this stuff. So, I used to have a lot of connections with sales floors and things like that. So selling biz op leads and stuff, that was easy. I knew tons of people locally or in the region that I could sell to. But with running strictly online, where is there any place that you can lead, point me to where I can find buyers for different verticals?
Yeah, the easiest way is going to be using something like Apollo, which is basically just scraping LinkedIn. So, or using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, but whatever niche you're in, you can go on Apollo. You can get a couple thousand emails and contacts of people in the niche you're after, and then you can cold email them or cold message them on LinkedIn. That's the method that we use, and so we use Apollo with something like Instantly, which is like an automated cold email software to just send out mass emails with offers for, lead partnerships and stuff like that.
Okay. That's the main way you do it. There's no like, somebody, I heard somebody mention, was Leadbase Pro. So there's not, I guess, any like associations or sites that you can go to join or whatever that have active buyers looking for certain kind of leads.
Yeah, no, there's not like a hub for that. In terms of like a marketplace. I mean, sometimes in Leadbase Pro, people are like working together, and but most of the people in Leadbase Pro are going to be the sellers on the seller end. Yeah, Dan says Offer Vault, which might be more affiliate based. So we like to. The reason I don't like using those is because usually if anyone's using something, and I've actually haven't tried Offer Vault, so I can't speak to it directly. But anyone like posting on like an affiliate type of network is going to be, they're going to be setting the expectations and the standards. Whereas I want to reach out to someone and kind of like wield a bit of the power of saying, I have leads. I'm looking for someone who can take those leads. Here's the price. Like, I don't want them to tell me the price. So I want to reach out to them and be like, here's how it's going to work. And kind of like have more of a one-on-one partnership. So manually doing that through Apollo, or cold message on LinkedIn, or running Facebook ads with offers of like, hey, we've got leads, we've got exclusive leads, fill out the form to see how you can get leads. Like, obviously that's simplifying it, but that's essentially, we use LinkedIn, cold email, and Facebook ads. Paul, you're muted. I don't know if you are going to respond to that or not.
Sorry, my phone must have just flipped it off. So give me those three areas. You got Apollo, LinkedIn.
So Apollo is where you get the information. So you can go on there and scrape like, 10,000 people. Then we're hitting them up on LinkedIn, cold email. And then you can also upload that same list of people into Facebook and create a lookalike audience to target people on Facebook with that.
Okay.
So usually I would probably start with cold message on LinkedIn and cold email. It's a little more cost efficient to start.
Yeah, I guess you, what do you just got to be a member? I mean, I've been in LinkedIn on and off in my career a million times. I just have never really utilized it much. So is there a certain platform within LinkedIn or a membership that you need to sign
Navigator.
up for? What's that?
Sales Navigator, and it's the first month is free, I think.
Okay.
I think it's $150 or something.
Okay. Okay, cool.
And then you can message people on there.
Okay.
You don't actually need that necessarily, but it makes it a bit easier to message people directly. The other way to do it would just be, getting a list off Apollo and just manually adding them as contacts and then sending them a message. Kind of trying to build out a system for that.
Yeah, and it's like, another thing is how do you know how to value your lead? You know what I mean? It's like I guess they need to, take them on a test drive, and if they have good conversions on, they'll say, hey, I'll buy, give me, 15 leads. I imagine that's how it usually starts out or something, and they call on those, and if they have decent luck with them, they'll tell you they want to buy more.
Yeah, usually doing like a trial order. So we get paid up front for orders. Usually the minimum, we'll do a trial order of like 25 leads or 50 leads. Used to be more, but now people are a bit more skeptical. And Yeah, I like to know, like, I want to go into that first conversation already having a price for my lead. So I like to work backwards.
Yep.
So if someone's selling something for $10,000 and I think they're going to close 1 in 10 of those leads, then that gives me an idea of what I can start to price my leads at. So if I price my leads at 100 per lead and they close 1 in 10, it's going to cost them $1,000 to get a $10,000 deal. Maybe they
Right.
profit. Maybe the profit on that's $3,000. So they just made one. They made a 3-to-1 return on ad spend from a profit perspective.
Yeah, and I guess it's hard to know exactly what, if you're doing big ticket items as opposed to, insurance leads or whatever. I mean, it's kind of. Is there any way to kind of gauge in each niche what their vertical, where to come in at, as far as
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of work backwards in any niche. So, like I said, if it's insurance and it's $2,000, you can assume that maybe it's 5 to 10% of leads are going to close off Facebook, and you can do an equation based off that to figure out what you should charge. Does that make sense? Oh, you got muted again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, that was it.
Cool. Thanks, Paul. Good to officially meet you.
You bet. You too.
I have just on the. I know Naomi just said, how do you estimate what your cost per lead will be? That only is, really going to come through testing. In an ideal scenario, a client, there's a bit of guesswork that does have to happen. In an ideal scenario, hopefully you have like $100, maybe $200 you can run a small test with and start to determine, okay, I ran $100 test. I got 5 leads. They cost me $20. Now, if I'm going to go sell these for 35, okay, I'm pretty confident that I can make money on this order. And over time, you're probably going to be able to get that lead cost down. You're going to improve quality. You're going to do things to improve that over time. Robert Janik, I think, is next.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Much. How's it going?
Doing good, doing good. So I had 2 questions really. Well, the first one was more on the acquisition side. And so with getting more volume of, I guess, in terms of when you are selling to clients, and trying to get more volume of the lead purchase order, I guess, because a lot of them, they want to like start out small, like 5, 10 leads. Are there things that you say on a call, or are there packages, or are there certain things that you do that helps you maybe have them try at least 15 or 20? Because right now I'm selling them at around like 35, 40
Yeah.
per lead. And so sometimes it's hard for them to fork up X amount of money to get 20 leads or 30 leads, which is like what I want because it's a good data pool for them to see, hey,
Yeah.
does this work? 5 or 10 is hard, So
So
is there a way to like maybe sell, I guess, more to the same buyer for a first time buyer, for example?
yeah. I mean, you can definitely tell them like we want a better pool of leads there. Another way you could do that is splitting the payments on the first order. So, you want to sell them at least 20. Maybe they pay for 10 up front and then another 10 upon the 10th one's delivery. Obviously, if the leads aren't going well for the first 10, you could lose them at that point. But so what you could kind of say to them is like, hey, we want to do a batch of 30, or let's a batch of 20 for the same example. We take payment up front for the first 10 and then payment for the next 10 after the delivery of the 10th lead, at least for the person. There's a little bit less sticker shock for that. So I think that could help. Because I think a lot of the times they're just worried they're either like going to get scammed by you and get 0 leads. So if you can just get the first 10 in and they, get some calls or get some appointments, and it's like, okay, like this is going the right direction, and they're more willing to invest money at that point.
Yeah, because their worry is just like the quality, contact rate, and I get it. They want to dabble and see, hey, what can I get out of just a few leads so I can like maybe get more later. Um, and I was even kind of dabbling with the idea of like financing too. Like I know on Stripe you can do like Klarna and other stuff too. Sometimes it's also the price too. Sometimes people, like I'm in the insurance space, and sometimes there are people that are used to spending a lot of money on leads, but there's also people that are going from vendor to vendor, and they maybe don't have as much money per se, but they want
Yeah.
20, 30 leads, but sometimes it's like a cash issue.
Yeah.
So sometimes maybe splitting it up maybe, or financing, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, the other like way that's kind of annoying that you could do is if you have Go High Level, you can charge them for a single lead up front and then just set their credit card information, like save their credit card information when they pay for that first lead, and then have Go High Level charge them when a lead hits their account.
Mm-hmm.
So you're charging one charge per lead kind of thing.
One at a time. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it's
Yeah,
at least you got the credit card info. You're still being paid per lead. You're not risking anything.
Mhm.
If they're doing like one lead per day, it's not too annoying for them to do that necessarily. And then once they trust you, you could switch to like batch payments.
Mhm.
But that could be just a way to get started for people to feel more comfortable.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and also just getting like bigger buyers, like agencies, and just I guess people, or I guess individual producers that also just spend a lot of money already by themselves. So
Right.
it's kind of like also finding those people too, because I'm also running ads to get book calls.
Right.
That's going well. It's just kind of getting those bigger buyers are like is like the number one thing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. And then my second question that's cool is for the text verification, because I've been playing around with lead forms and landing pages. Landing pages, maybe my landing page, I guess maybe isn't as congruent, maybe, but on the lead forms, I do term. So I'm getting about like 15 to 20 a lead. And so I'm selling it around for like 35 or 40. So for text verification, how much have you guys seen in terms of, I guess, like how much better is the conversion? And then also to, what's like the lead cost difference that you've seen? Let's say you're getting for 15 or 20. Have you seen text verification like double or triple your lead cost? Has it been maybe a 20% increase? Like, do you know like difference maybe on terms of data you've had between no text verification versus with a text verification, like the cost?
Yeah. It depends on the niche. It's anywhere from like double to like only maybe 10 to 20%. So 10 to 20% up to like maybe even 100% more. It just depends on the niche and how you like portray that. 100 would be probably more of like an outlier.
Yeah, I mean, I
Probably
don't
more.
think it'll be too high because I'm in term for insurance, and
Yeah.
so I was thinking like maybe add an extra layer on top, but because the flow is nice, and most of the time the numbers are not wrong usually,
Mhm.
and I do replacements anyways for those that are wrong, but I was just kind of figuring out if the cost would make sense to like sacrifice the having verification versus not.
Yeah, I would say in almost every case it's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what your clients are saying, I guess, but yeah, like it's gonna definitely, especially with lead forms, I feel like it's worth it.
Hmm. Okay, gotcha. Cool. I have other questions, but I'll let the other guys go.
But yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll jump through a few and then we'll come back to you.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Dylan says, anyone work with doctors and know how to navigate HIPAA regulations? I don't know, Ryan, maybe you know more about this. Anything specific, Dylan? Like just like maintaining data security, or like what specifically?
I'll start talking. Oh, did he?
Still in here?
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm working with a kidney specialist, and AI is telling me that I can't use pixel tracking. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get around that. I was going to use ClickFunnels, but it's saying I have to use just like GHL and so I guess okay. So someone said GHL HIPAA add-on. I didn't know
Oh,
that was a thing.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they have. It's like somewhat expensive. They have that option, and then essentially makes all your data and everything kind of above board and how they store it, and what they do for that. So that's probably going to be your best bet for that. Let me just pull up if Lead Capture has that or not. I don't think so. Give me a second to look at that. But either way, yeah, I know even with like personal injury, if there's anything that indicates with like health effects, like Meta doesn't allow you to track for leads or anything like that. So anything that can be, personal like health identification it can definitely be a little bit of an uphill battle in terms of all the data and stuff like that. So yeah, look into um, players. Yeah, exactly what Dan said there. But yeah, look into GHL HIPAA. and then I'll look into some other alternatives for that. But I think GHL is going to be your best bet in terms of all compliance pieces.
Awesome, thanks. Is it too much to ask if you find anything, if you could DM me on Skool?
Yeah, for sure. I'll take a look and then I'll let you know if I do come across anything.
Appreciate it, man.
For sure.
Awesome. Good question. Tarun needs guidance for life insurance ads. Can you use Apollo for life insurance? Yes, you definitely can for life insurance. Facebook ads work really well for life insurance as well. Just like a simple ugly ad that says, life insurance ad, life insurance or FEX, leads, exclusive, text verified. Fill out the form below to see if you qualify to start receiving leads. Like we run an ad that's similar to that. Any other specific guidance, Tarun? You're there? See here? Oh, I think Tarun had to piece out. Unless I'm just missing something. All right, Tarun can watch the replay. Any recent Andromeda test updates? Dan, the more I test Andromeda, the more I think it's just a big freaking scam, and I got too hyped about it. I think at the end of the day, like if you have strong creatives, and like you test a lot of offers, you do a lot of testing, it doesn't really matter how you set up your campaigns a ton. I was talking with Chris, who's a part of Leadbase Pro, who does like a ton of traffic. We were just talking about how our method used to be and is still going to be on your initial test. If you've got like no data to work with, you do one ad set and one ad per ad set, and do 20 of those at like a couple bucks a day and force spend to every single ad. So you can start to figure out, so because you're forcing spend to each ad, start to figure out what's actually getting good click-through rates, and maybe you'll even get a few leads from that. Because if you don't do that, like if you run 20 ads in an ad set or even 5 ads in an ad set, Facebook's still going to push all the money to one of them, and it still is not the one that's the best one a lot of the time. So start out by doing a major split test, and then once you find your winners, I do think with Andromeda it has gotten better, at least where it's at least pushing spend to the higher click-through ads. So once you figure out your winners, if you run a test of 20 and you find 5 winners, then you can throw those into an ad set and start to scale that way, and scale by creating new ad sets that have, or either completely different concepts or similar variants to the ones that were the winners before. But you need to create a lot of different types of ads to be successful with Andromeda for sure. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about testing a ton of different concepts. Josh says, was that one creative per one ad set at just a few bucks a day times 10 or so? Yes. Yeah, so exactly, Josh. So it's like ideally like 20 ad sets at, $4 or $5 a day. If you're in a niche like roofing where the clicks are like $5, you want to be spending enough to at least like get a click or two a day. Because if your clicks are going to be $4 and you're spending $2 a day and you get a click every 2 days, it's not going to be a very efficient test. So maybe you have to do less ad sets, but that's the method we used before. I heard some people say like with Andromeda, maybe that's not going to work, but I'm at the point where when I like set up a new niche or whatever, I'm working a new niche and I have no idea what's going to work, I want to be able to force spend, at least spend $10 to $20 on each creative concept or each ad. So I know, this creative concept got 4% click-through rate and this one got 0.8. Well, okay, the 4%, obviously there's something there. Something's resonating. 21% or higher CTR. I think maybe you mean 1 or 2 or something like that. Dan, I'm not sure. I would say like 1% is kind of like the threshold, but if you have some ads in the 3 to 4 range, then like 1 isn't as good relatively, and you can kind of make decisions based off that. If your best ad is 1.7 or something like that, then my cutoff might be 1%. Sorry, I got a couple messages here. With the meta algorithm, what do you suggest guide you? Sorry, I'll come back to that question, Paul. How big of a budget would you need for this? Yeah, so if you don't need to do 20 ads if you don't have $100 a day to spend, but let's say you've got let's say you can do 10 different kind of creative concepts or different, combinations of, hooks and creatives. Maybe you've got 5 videos and 5 images, and the images are all quite different, and the videos are all, sort of different. Then you could run those at, say $4 a day. You're spending $40 a day there. So it just depends on what your budget is and how many ads you're willing to test. We originally said $2 a day per ad set, but again, sometimes like in life insurance, that's probably fine where the clicks are like $1. But if you're in a high cost per click, like B2B type industry, you're going to want to spend more per ad set. And then what you can do with that is, we used to just let those run. Like sometimes there'd be ads in there getting like super cheap leads. I would just slowly scale them by like, 20% or 10 to 20% every couple days. But now with Andromeda, they're really trying to push you to have more creatives in an ad set. So that initial testing phase is just to figure out what's working, take the winners, create some variants of those winners, and throw them into one mega ad set, where at least we know what's in that mega ad set is stuff that has worked. So yeah, that's kind of the strategy that I've been fleshing that out over the past couple of months with all the Andromeda hype and stuff like that. And I've just come back to the conclusion that what we were already doing was probably fine already. I mean, I hear a lot of stuff from different people trying different things. This works for this person. This works for this person. And so the conclusion is everything's working for everybody as long as you have good creatives. I think that's probably the moral of the story. And you'll kind of figure out what's works best for you. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Naomi, hopefully I sort of answered your question in terms of like working backwards from the cost of the leads. I'll drop my lead pricing tool in the chat here. Guys, you can check it out. It basically, you put in your, I feel like we can improve this actually. We probably should improve this. Basically just helps you work backwards. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Caro. I actually had it on me. I was looking at it, Caro. Thank you. Okay, where was I? So, to understand. With the meta algorithm, what do you suggest to guide you on setting up running traffic and targeting? Basically, Paul, like you want to go for the most part as broad as possible and let the creative do the targeting for you. So if you want to target, homeowners, you're going to say in your ad, attention homeowners. If you want to target small businesses, hey, attention SMBs or attention business owners. And then Facebook's going to be able to kind of like target those people for you. I'm going to go through these questions a little quicker because we got about 6 minutes left here for this call. Courtney says, how long have you been into digital marketing? You're just starting out, or you already consider yourself a pro? I mean, I think we're like kind of pros at this point for the most part. I mean, we've been doing digital marketing for 10 years now, and lead gen more specifically for like 6 or 7. So yeah, definitely been in the space for a while. What am I seeing here? Tyler says it's difficult to get leads that are business customers. Is it difficult to get leads? Oh, business customers. Have you tested any of these sectors? Yeah, we've done some B2B stuff, Tyler. It's more expensive to get leads, but it's easy to find those types of, if you go on Apollo, you're going to be able to find, you can get 10,000 business owners in a certain sector and run a lookalike target to them, or you can ask your client for a list of their customers and run a lookalike audience of those as well. Or you could even like cold email those to generate leads for that, because you're able to message businesses with a lot more flexibility than individuals. Yeah, I can figure out the value of the lead, so I guess we need to test to figure out our costs. Yeah, that's right, Naomi. Yeah, you could run an initial test of like, those 10 ad sets with a creative each, and you might get some initial leads from that. You might have to, it's good to always like run a little bit on your side just so you can go into like quoting that first order confidently. But at the same time, what you could do is, let's say you're in like life insurance, you're going to sell leads for probably like $35. Like there's like a status quo of like, you're going to be able to get leads for less than that. So you could take your first order and learn from doing that first order with somebody. And you're taking a bit of risk on, but maybe, that's why we're here. We can help you out if you need it. Can you go over the outline of a thank you page video a client can record once a lead submits? Yes. Do I have basically Right, a client can record. I like to keep the thank you page videos like pretty nonchalant, so the client can just be like, "Hey, I'm client from solar company A. We've helped lots of people like you. Some of our reviews are on this page. I really look forward to talking with you to see if you qualify for solar offer or whatever it is." It's I was gonna say, I think for that video, really what you want is just to like have a human element to your funnel. So it's not like it could just be like a minute long or 2 minutes long of like, here's what's gonna happen next. We're gonna call you and go through an assessment or whatever. But just having like a human element is usually pretty helpful. Just to be able to just to make people remember it. Like if they see a face and they see someone talking, it's a real person instead of like a faceless funnel. I feel like that can be pretty helpful. Cool. Any other questions before we jump off here, guys? We're coming up on about an hour. That was good rapid fire. Yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
Just wanted to ask, with Leadbase Pro, do you guys provide any like actual tech support? So like in the sense of like just helping set up like the Zapier, things like that, just like automations and that sort of stuff.
We don't directly provide tech support. Like we don't really have the systems to do that directly. Like if you sent a Loom over and, we could definitely provide some suggestions, or you could get on, like, we have multiple weekly calls where we can definitely help with that. We try not to be too much of just like tech support because then we just get inundated with stuff. But if you're like struggling to figure something out and you send over a clear Loom with like what you're struggling with, then we can for sure help you out.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys would happen to have like a list of freelancers that you work with in the past that you could just point us to maybe?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Like I was saying, would you happen to have like a list of freelancers that you might have worked with in the past that we can contact, or anyone you recommend from like a freelancer
for the tech side of things?
Yeah.
I mean, for the tech side of things, or for
yeah. Like if there's like a freelancer you worked with in the past that you can, if you have like a list of them, we can maybe reach out to them for help, stuff like that.
I mean, we've really just historically posted on Upwork. Like we have people that work for us directly. I don't know if Ryan, you have anyone in mind specifically. I would probably just make an Upwork post though.
Yeah, it really just depends on what you're looking to get done. Yeah, it's really what it is. If it's just like a simple Zapier or something, or like Zap, it's pretty straightforward. I wouldn't. There'd be no issue, I think, with like either finding someone on Upwork do that for you, or you honestly just posting in the group with a Loom or something too, like where you're stuck. Like because it's also like something like that is worth just like biting the bullet and learning, because you'll have to do it a lot down the road, and it's like a lot of this stuff is just you have to do it once or twice, and then it clicks, and then you're good. Would be my advice for that. But yeah, like I said, there's no shortage of people on Upwork that can help.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And look, last, just want to say thank you to both Ryans. I mean, you guys have helped me sort of kick things off.
Nice.
So just want to say thank you so much. And do this more often, please.
Yeah, well, we will. We'll try, and we've been trying to do them monthly, so there'll definitely be one in January that'll be maybe more topic focused. So yeah, happy to do it for sure. Just gonna. This Courtney person is definitely spamming us. Have you seen? I just literally kicked them out. Does anyone know Courtney?
No.
I literally just banned her because I saw her post and I'm like, what is going on here? Anyways, if you guys, I'll just drop we have our lifetime deal for Leadbase Pro. A couple of you guys were just mentioning it, going on till we've extended that till the end of today. I will put that in the chat here. Oops, what just happened? So that gives you lifetime access for just $5.99 instead of paying, it's $99 a month, or usually $800 for the year. So you get an extra $200 off there, and you get lifetime access. And so Josh asked Leadbase Pro as well, what it included. I'm running ads for my services and not selling lead gen right now. Yeah, so for Leadbase Pro, it's for anyone who's an agency selling leads, or just for someone who wants to generate leads for themselves. So we have probably 70 to 80 modules on like it's separated into how to sell leads and how to just generate leads. So you'd benefit from the how to generate leads section. You get all the templates for quiz funnels, for ads, how to like generate your hooks and everything like that, how to create your creatives, how to run ads on Facebook and Google. And then we do 2 weekly calls. Myself and Ryan B each do a weekly call. And then we have additional coaches that do calls as well. So yeah, I mean, for $99, I think it definitely pays for itself pretty quick, or you can jump on the lifetime deal and never pay anything else again. Yeah. So Josh, if you have any other questions, feel free to message us. Robert says, do you recommend that we text the client's leads ourselves with one automatic message with a thank you for filling out your request and expect contact from XYZ client name and number, even attaching a clean business card so they know if they're speaking to? Text the client. Yeah, I think it's worth texting the lead to say this client's going to be contacting you. You probably have to be careful with sending attachments of like a business card, but you can just say like, hey, Bob from Bob Solar is going to be giving you a call. They're our recommended partner. Thanks for filling out the form. You can put that on the thank you page and the text. Courtney's asking for our WhatsApp number. All right. I've never seen someone come in here and try and scam me. That's impressive. Yes, David, it's being recorded. Cool, thanks. Yeah, we'll love to see you guys in Leadbase Pro. Obviously, I think we're around 380 people in there, so definitely a good crew and good conversations going on in the feed as well. So if you're selling to more than one client, each needs their own thank you page. Yes, you if you wanted, yeah, an ideal situation, you're distributing leads and then you can load a dynamic thank you page based on who you sold the lead to, Naomi. So you don't need their own thank you page. You can just say, hey, one of our clients is going to be reaching out. But what we do is the lead comes through a funnel, it's routed to the client, then we instantly load the thank you page of that client, like in real time, so that it's like, hey, client A is who you're matched with. They're going to be contacting you. So hopefully that's helpful there. If you guys have any more questions, we do have to run, but you can feel free to message us on Skool or throw it on the feed there. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for other questions or videos you want us to do on YouTube as well, I'm always open to taking those. So appreciate you guys jumping on today. Okay, one more question. How do you handle the client not caring for the lead properly and complaining? If you can prove that they're not handling it, what I would do is fill out the funnel as yourself, or fill it a different name, but put your phone number and email in there. And then if they never call you, you can be like, hey, well, looks like you never even called me, so you're not handling these right. We have some like best practices you can share with clients, but if someone's complaining about the quality, I always double check. And if they're not doing a good job, I just basically say, hey, here's the expectation. If you're not going to follow it, like in terms of calling them the leads right away and 10 plus times, looks like we're not going to like be the best partners here. So our long-term partnerships that we have always been people, that have good SOPs and call leads like quickly and call them frequently, and they do well with them. So, all right, guys, I got to jump off. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll post the recording in the free Skool. And if we don't see you all, have a great Christmas, happy holidays. And yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.